Ellarigu Namaskara and thanks for coming back to watch the second part of this video. So guys, let me start off the second part of the video with my story because there were a couple of things which I was doing subconsciously or consciously which were correct, because of which I got a score of 7 in my writing. Also, there were a few things which I was doing incorrectly, because of which I couldn't score any higher. Just like how I explained to you guys some time back how our brain works, my brain was no different. To be honest, whatever points I summarized quickly is all that I used to remember as well. The maximum I would do is to watch videos and come up with a format for my letter and essay writing. I would have hardly written 4 to 5 essays and letters just because I had a few sample tests in my Barron's book and the IELTS booklet that I received from IDP. This is because back then my thinking was, even if I do practice tests, then who is going to correct my answers and let me know what are my mistakes? I used to think that it is a wastage of time. If you have this same idea like me, then I'm sorry, you need to do more practice tests. And what if I tell you that you don't need a third person to tell you what are your mistakes? What if you yourself can check your answers and figure out where you're going wrong? How? I'll tell you later. So continuing with my story, if you're wondering how did she get a band score of 7, then yeah, I actually didn't know how to go about the writing test. I think one of the important thing that worked for me in spite of not doing practice tests is I was doing other things which were enhancing my theoretical knowledge. So what are these things? I had it in my mind that my grammar was bad, because of which I used to sit and dedicate about an hour's time every day to better my grammar. I used to practice the basic of things like parts of speech, articles, tenses, etc. Sometimes I myself used to wonder, why on earth am I spending so much time on practicing grammar rather than doing my writing practice tests? In fact, the reason why I started with the grammar practice is not even for my writing test. It was for the listening and reading test, where you might know that if your answer is of not the correct grammatical form, then you will lose marks. So in the fear of losing marks in those two tests, I started practicing grammar, which eventually helped me a great lot in my speaking and writing tests. Another thing that I used to do is not to bifurcate between my practice. I wouldn't be like, now I will sit and do my listening practice test. Then I wouldn't be like, I will specifically work on enhancing my reading speed. No. For example, when I'm listening to an audio clip to understand an American accent better, what I would do simultaneously is to learn the pronunciation of words and also note down some words which are new to me. For me, it comes naturally because since my childhood, I have this habit of, if I hear some new words, I would search the meaning of those words so that I learn these words. Total nerd in this case, but I love learning new words. As a result, while I'm doing my listening practice test, I'm also enhancing my vocabulary, which I can use in my reading test to understand the passage better, or I can use these new words in my writing and speaking test as well. So while doing one simple thing of listening to an audio clip, I'm simultaneously working on all the 4 test components. So now let me share with you guys the most important things that can help you to get that score of 7 and beyond in your writing test. First step, unlearn. Now I'm not saying for you to forget everything that you know about English, not at all. But I want you to be aware that there were certain things which we have learned in our schools and colleges, which maybe was working for us back then and we were scoring like really great. But these same things might not help us with IELTS. Let me explain it through an example. Now most of you who have already given IELTS and did not get a score of 7 in writing might agree with me. Don't most of you think that you did your IELTS writing exceedingly well and that's the best that you could have done? You might have written an essay of 300 words length, and if you were in school, then chances are you might have scored an out of out for that essay. But why do you think that's not the case with IELTS? The answer is simple. When it comes to languages, unlike math, don't you think most of us are just concerned with filling the content rather than the quality of the content? Most of us think that bigger the answers, more the marks. How many of our teachers have actually called us back after reading our essays and have told, look, your essay is good, but next time you can make it better by maybe using different vocabulary or use different grammatical forms like compound sentences, complex sentences. Very few, if none, right? Maybe our teachers didn't expect that from us, but unfortunately, IELTS does. The sad part is, in case of school, you can go to your teacher and ask them like, what is the issue? Why have you scored me less? And then work on those issues and score better next time. But in case of IELTS, it's not gonna happen. You have to figure out by yourself where you're going wrong. So the first thing to do is unlearn. Accept that things which were working for you in your school or college is no longer working for you now. Unlearn those things and adapt to the new situation. Before moving to the second step, I would like to quickly mention that if you're someone interested in taking up IELTS anytime soon, then please go for the computer-based format, because it would be much easier to implement the steps that I'll be sharing with you guys now. I have a detailed video about the same regarding the pros and cons of paper-based and computer-based test formats. If you haven't watched it yet, please do check and come back to watch this video. So now coming to the second step, learn to dump ideas. Now when you see a topic for your letter or essay writing, I'm sure ideas and thoughts starts forming in your brain, right? So you need to be quick enough to dump all these relevant ideas into your paper or system. Of course, do take some time, but don't waste a lot of time constructing the essay in your head. Let it happen on your computer screen. You remember I had told you, you yourself can check your writing. How do you do that? There are 4 steps which you can use to make this happen. Going forward, I'll just use the word essay to explain it to you guys, but it's applicable both for your letter writing and essay writing. So in case of essay, as I told you, irrespective of the essay type, there's a format to it. The essay will have an introduction, 2 to 3 body paragraphs and a conclusion. So in total you will have 4 to 5 paragraphs. So every time you complete a paragraph, please use the next 4 steps that I'll be telling you to check your essay. Of course you can write your essay and then come back to check it, but the problem with this approach is, if in case you run out of time towards the end, then it will be a total disaster. So better practice is to have a check on them as you're progressing through your essay. So the next 4 steps are checking your writing for task response or achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource and grammar. Did that ring a bell? You remember in the beginning of this video I had told you that there are 4 criteria based on which your answers will be evaluated. These are the same 4 steps which will actually decide whether you'll get a score of 6.5 or 7. But it's highly unfortunate that not many of us give it the importance that it requires, at least in our first attempt. So before going ahead with the 4 steps, I would like to take some time and tell you guys why exactly are these 4 steps important and how is it that these are the deciding factors whether you'll get a score of 6.5 or 7. If you check IELTS official website and search for GT writing, then you have certain examples wherein you can see comments from the examiner for different band scores. You can see how strictly they would have assessed the letter and essay for each of the 4 criteria. You can also pause and have a look at the band descriptors for task 1 and task 2 and see how much importance they have given for each of the criteria. So what I'm trying to tell you guys here is that how we are scored in our math test, like with each correct step we would be given additional marks, right? Just like that, even in IELTS, all the 4 criteria has got equal importance and you will be scored for each of the components individually. Even if you do really well in 3 of the criteria and fail to get a good score in 1 of the criteria, then chances are you will get a score of 6.5 or less. Since they themselves have confirmed that each of the criteria has got a weightage of 25%, let's think about this practically. Let's say if you score 7 each in task response or achievement, grammar and lexical resource, but get a score of 5 in coherence and cohesion, then by doing a simple math of adding and averaging, you will get a score of 6.5. So if there's one thing that I want you guys to take away from this video, then it is to give equal importance for all the 4 criteria. Don't try to ignore even one of them. So hoping that all of you have realized how important are these 4 criteria. I'll see you back in the third and final part of this video.